Welcome to Robinson Family Farm, and here we are on the future homestead for the first time basically since the fall. And this is the, is this April 1st?
It is.
This is April 1st of 2023, and we haven't been up here since, I think, just after Thanksgiving.
November 26th.
Yeah, just right around Thanksgiving time was our last trip up here. And it's been a while since we even made a video about this, but the biggest issue is access to the property during the winter. The road that our property's on just isn't plowed or maintained in the winter time, so we can't really get down here unless we have the proper vehicle, which we don't at the moment. So we kind of have to take a break in the winter time, at least for now, before we can get back up here. So this is our first time up, and we're really just walking around, checking the place out, and making sure that it's as we left it. And
it is.
Yeah. Luckily, it is how we left it. There's a few things that we noticed. A couple tree branches came down.
A tree.
There's a big tree in the back that I'll show you. That came down. And there's still some snow on the property. Yeah. But thankfully, just about all the snow is gone. Yep. So we're going to start getting to work on the property this year, 2023.
2 weeks.
Summer's going to be big for us. So what do we got planned?
In 2 weeks, you're coming up for a week. I'm going to come up on the weekend. And we are going to get some trees out front, which we can always walk around and show. The 2 trees, or 3 trees in the front of the property we're cutting down. We're going to do some stump grinding to make way for our driveway, parking area, and the greenhouse. Yeah. We need that. We're going to have that when we move in, just because of the time for the growing season is very small. So
having a greenhouse is probably pretty critical for a homestead in this area, upstate New York. In the meantime, besides everything that we just mentioned, we also have a guy lined up to drill a well, a guy for the septic, a guy for the rough plumbing for the house, a guy for the concrete floor, and it's just going to be a whirlwind. This is going to be a crazy year for us. Yeah. So with that, we most definitely be making more content for this channel based on just those things alone. And now, I don't know if we mentioned this in this channel, but as a school teacher, I'm off in the summer. Originally, up until this school year, I was also doing lawn care and landscaping. So we gave up that business, and with the summers, I'm going to be up here a lot more. Yeah. And Tina's going to be coming up too.
When I can.
Yeah, so we have obligations at home in South Jersey, but we also have hopes for this property. So we're going to divide and conquer. A lot of videos, at least this year, will probably be just me. We're going to get Tina in here as much as we can. Yeah. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of grunt work this summer.
Yes.
She's going to be at home in air conditioning, but
I'd rather be up here.
Yeah, I know. It's just what it is and what our skill sets are going to dictate. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch cameras, and we're going to take you around and show you the fallen trees, a couple of branches, the snow, and get a better shot of the house if you haven't seen previous videos, and just give you an idea of where we're starting right now in spring of 2023. And hopefully we can compare this to where we'll end up at the end, fall of 2023. So there you go. Yeah. All right, Tina's going to work the camera, and I'll probably be doing the, I won't be having this goofy thing. Yeah. But that's that. All right, cool. Let's get started. All right, so if you recall from previous videos, we had a shell of a pole barn built, what was it, in the fall, I guess it was, September, October-ish. And it's a 30 by 50, so it's a 1,500 square feet. Ultimately, our goal is to make a 2-bedroom house with a large pantry, big open concept for a kitchen, living room, dining room area, and a mudroom. So we can put kind of like utility stuff in the mudroom in terms of brooders if we need to, also keep our boots and coats and stuff like that. So that's the house. You can go back and watch other videos to get an update on the plans for that, where I give a tour of just the shell. the wind's pretty crazy right now, so we're trying to fight that. Anyway, so let's walk around the property a little bit. If you want to spin around, sweetheart, and show the fence. The fence itself, we finished up right before, really, the road became impassable. It was late fall, early winter when we were able to wrap that up. Some of the posts are still a little soft, so there's some wiggle room there with the posts, more than I would like with some of them. But all that means is I might have to pull some up, dig a little deeper, maybe even get concrete or that expanding foam that we've seen, you know, all over Instagram or whatever. And that foam, if I remember right, is just a two-part kind of like epoxy type deal. It expands and then you can cut off the excess. It's supposed to be just as good, if not better, than concrete with the posts. So we might have to come up with ways to make these posts, the individual ones that are a little wobbly, get them a little more secure, but it's a work in progress. And you could see that some of these posts, they still have the high end. I gotta go back and cut them off, but I held off on doing that just for this very reason, just in case some of the posts weren't quite right. And looking down the fence, I can see some of them are leaning one way or another. So the fence itself is gonna have to be addressed and kind of not repaired, but just addressed this year. So spinning around, we got our gates. We put a gate down on this end and another one at the far end over there as well. They came out pretty nice. I'm really happy with the gates. A little bit of sagging issue here, but these farm gates, every farm gate I've seen always seems to sag one way or another. But that could probably be corrected with concrete at that corner post. We'll see. Now also, I feel like I say that a lot. Now also, we have clover seed. And we're gonna try this for a couple of reasons. The clover seed, get a picture of that. I got this from Amazon. It's 10 bucks or 10 pounds, but it was like 50 bucks for the whole bag. We're going to, as much as we can, convert the land itself to clover for a couple of reasons. First, our animals, for the most part, will enjoy a nice clover pasture. Also, it will bring, there it goes also again, the deer and the turkey will come in and eat this clover. So it'll increase our hunting opportunities on our little plot. At least before we're up and moving around full time here, we're not gonna scare them away right away. And our trail cams, I'll overlay some pictures now, are constantly, at least lately, getting a ton of deer and turkey. And spring turkey season's coming up, so we're gonna give it a try. Never done that before. It should be fun. So in the back here, behind the house, you could probably see it from a whole nother angle now. In the back, we have this area that we're gonna try and convert as much as we can to this clover, at least over time anyway. And it kind of goes down to that stream or creek that we've pointed out in other videos. And I'll take you down closer, but there's that tree in the background that fell down over there. And it snapped. It was like 15 feet up off the ground. It snapped. A little scary, but that's one of the reasons why Tina really insisted on getting as many of these trees cut down close to the house, because we didn't want anything to fall. And with the wet ground and high winds that we're experiencing from time to time, it happens. Trees fall all the time. So, do you remember that time we were out front working on the fence and the tree on the neighboring property across the road?
It broke and it went, it fell right over the, what's it called? The road.
Yeah, we heard a snap sound with all the wind, and we looked over and we watched a tree fall to the ground across the road. It was pretty creepy and scary. So we're gonna try to eliminate all those possibilities for our house and other structures. So where you're standing, where I'm standing now, this used to be covered in trees. Some little guys, you know, little maples about that big around, but then there were others that were 2 feet across diameter. So they all had to go. So that's the point. I'm gonna leave the clover here. Let's finish spreading it off camera. Let's take you down and look at that tree. Here on my left, this is a lot of the debris that was left over from cutting the trees down. We had a company come in and help clear this for us. It really just sped up the process. I could clear it, but not in an afternoon. And these guys did that. In the summertime, what we're walking through now really just gets overgrown like crazy. So we need to get this converted to clover as best as we can, or something similar, something that'll feed our animals and something that'll bring in the wildlife for these hunting opportunities. And again, behind us, you can see this tree here. I couldn't even tell you how long this is. I mean, it's shorter than the house, right? So the house is 50 feet. This has got to be 35, 40 feet long. And when you see this in like natural forests and things like this is perfect for deer habitat. So I'm not even gonna, like, this is not a super high-end priority at the moment to clean this up. I might even leave it for a while.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's
The deer will eat this. That's down right now.
Exactly. It's not in the way, and it provides some comfort for the deer, something for them to hide in and this and that.
And it would be a waste of time right now to spend hours cutting this up.
We have so much more to do. So I don't know if we can get the camera in here, but you can see how high this is. Now I'm 6 feet tall, so this has got to be close to 15 feet where it snapped off. And this must have just happened in the last couple of weeks. It still looks fresh. Yeah, yeah. And this is the kind of thing that happens when we're not here. We don't have the opportunity to be here every day. We will eventually, but for now, we're kind of long weekends and things like that getting up here. Yeah, so that's that. That's what we've noticed. Bunch of fallen limbs. All our stuff is untouched. Everything's left alone. Just nature taking its course. Find deer droppings all over the place. It's pretty cool. Back up at the front, like we mentioned, this area here is something that we're going to focus on. A moment ago, we said we have so much to do. Well, this is going to be one of those things that we need to prioritize. This used to be a bunch of trees that we've cut down, evergreens and pine, things like that. We have a variety of these stumps that we got to grind. Now, I do own a stump grinder. I got to get a set of teeth. Once I do that, I can get in here, cut these down a little lower, and start grinding away. This area here is going to be ultimately our parking area. So we need parking for 2, maybe 3 vehicles. And then we're going to have a greenhouse right over here between these 2 trees. This tree in the back is going to go. We definitely been struggling with that decision for whatever reason. We wanted to keep the tree at first, and then we decided to get rid of it, and then we decided to keep it, and we went back.
I think today we decided it's definitely going because of the sun exposure to the greenhouse.
So we've finally decided once and for all, I'm cutting that tree down, and that's going to be one of the things we end up having to do before we get that greenhouse, because it's, like we said, critical for this kind of homestead. And to put the greenhouse there, we need to get rid of those stumps. To park here, we need to get rid of those stumps. So I think one of the top priorities late spring, early summer this year is to get that stump grinder up and running once again and just take care of these stumps. I could get an excavator, but the problem with that is now we have all these stumps we need to get rid of. If I grind them, they'll just deteriorate anyway, whatever, and we cover the area with gravel. Done, once and for all, no more stumps, and we can move on with our lives, and we have a place to park at that point.
All right, everybody, that's it for this video. We hope to have plenty more coming out as opposed to last year and the year before. More coming out this year because, again, we'll have more opportunity to get more work done this summer. Yes. And in the meantime, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and most importantly, subscribing. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that's that. That's the closing.